Roughly a month ago, we started with 64 bands. The one and only goal was to become the Music Madness champion here in 2015, and I am here to announce today that that champion has been crowned. We had two bands that remained in our championship round. We had a band in Mastodon that had been here before. This is the third straight year they had reached and ascended to the championship round. The two previous years they had fallen short. They had been second place. And we had Rush, a general newcomer, who surprised their way through the field to make it as far as they have. This is also a tale of the 6 other bands that are vying for what we thought was going to be a top 10 favorite songs list, but that was a bit of tomfoolery, a bit of April Fools. What that actually was to ensure that there would be a discography review that would be performed in the event that Mastodon were to be victorious. So, you actually voted for 2 discographies in the previous video. Pretty cool. So let's get to the results. Let's first get to who our Music Madness champion is. Our Music Madness champion between Rush and Mastodon is Rush. Mastodon makes it this far for the 3rd straight year. However, they fall for the 3rd straight year in the championship round. This year, by the count of 205 to 144, Rush is your Music Madness champion, and they will be getting a discography review based around their winning this tournament, as well as all of the brackets next year being named after Rush albums, personalities, etc. Congratulations to Rush. You've now entered into a hell of a pantheon. We have 6 names now within this pantheon. We have Iron Maiden, we have Death, we have Megadeth, we have Opeth, we have Dream Theater, and now we have Rush. We can see where the representation really seems to be lying in a lot of these competitions. And I said 6 bands that remained. It was actually 5. I apologize for that. So we need to speak about that. The 5 bands that were being considered for our secondary bracket were Devin Townsend, we had Porcupine Tree, Slayer, Machine Head, and Anthrax. And I know that some of you have some very, very personal picks that you hope win. Let's take a look and examine the results. Let's do this from number 5 all the way up to number 1. Number 5 was Machine Head with 28 votes. Number 4 was Anthrax with 31 votes. Number 3 was Devin Townsend with 51 votes, which left it between Porcupine Tree and Slayer. Which of the 2 were going to be getting the secondary discography review that will be done concurrently to the Rush discography review? Well, the answer to that question is Porcupine Tree. They got 92 votes. Slayer had 63 votes. Devin Townsend in 3rd place had 51. Anthrax had 31, and Machine Head 28. Now, there are a couple of other things that need to be spoken about. This is a video where many things are going to be announced, many things are going to be revealed. Firstly, Pantera was not included in that 6-band foray to see who would get the second discography review, based around the fact that it was originally not revealed that that was what it was for, but I knew that they'd already had one done. However, many people have pointed out that the first 4 albums in their discography, their true discography from the 1980s, have never been touched on this channel. And that was never my intention. My intention was to touch everything within the Pantera discography review. So, in order to rectify this situation, we will be talking about those early Pantera albums sometime in the future as well. So, in reality, now we have 3 bands that we're talking about quite a bit. But that's not enough. It really is not enough. Discography in a day is a thing that we do here on this channel. We just recently did it with Avenged Sevenfold, and one time in the future there will be a discography in a day for another one of these bands, and the general consensus right now is leaning very much towards Slayer. However, their discography is rather large, so it would actually be, instead of discography in a day, probably discography within a weekend. Now, because of all of these discographies and all of these things being done, you may wonder why even let these bands into the tournament next year, and it's because of having that ability to say that you're the Music Madness champion, of having those brackets named after you, being retired from the tournament. It is an important and prestigious honor. something that needs to happen. Mastodon will be returning next year. All of the bands that you saw in the Elite Eight that did not win will be returning next year, including Pantera. So ladies and gentlemen, join me in congratulating Rush for winning Music Madness 2015. Congratulate Porcupine Tree for winning the supplemental discography review. They will be returning next year. Join me in congratulating Pantera, which will finally have their discography finished up in its proper format by including the 1980s albums. And I want to take the time to congratulate all of you for yet another successful and awesome Music Madness tournament. This is year 6, and each and every year we've only gotten bigger, we've only gotten stronger, it's only become more and more fun. More of you have gotten involved. The excitement level that you guys really bring to this every single year is nothing short of magical. I just hope that we're able to, in the following years, continue to amplify this up even further and take it to levels unseen this year. I thank you once again, and one more time, congratulations to Rush, the 2015 Music Madness champions, Kings of the Mountain, Kings of Prague. This discography review is going to be a long one.